Welcome to the 2025 Asia Pacific Photography Awards Pure Category Top 10 finalist. This is a category that celebrates straight out of the camera images of any subject or genre. Entries must be uploaded in the form of a RAW file, including DNG. All elements of the image must be captured in camera with no adjustments allowed to the RAW file. My name is Sarah McGregor and I will be your panel chair today, and we have a wonderful pool of judges joining us for this category: Craig Turner-Bullock, Matt Palmer, Rachel Smith, Johan van Kaan and Michelle Fay. We're going to start the category with a run through of the top 10 images. Can we have the first image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Rachel, do you want to comment on this one?
Yeah, I find this a very, I guess it's enduring. It's a very restful image. Would make a lovely artwork on the wall. I think that the technique has been well handled, and the highlights and everything are really well controlled. I scored it in 83, so solid silver. I don't really know how to elevate it past that in the form that it's in. As a pure capture, it's very, very beautiful, but there's not really a uniqueness to it to take it up into a higher scoring range for me.
Thanks so much, Rachel. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a score of 84, which is a silver award. Matt, do you want to challenge that?
Yeah, we may as well. It's on the cusp, so we can talk about it. I was on 88, so just into the next range, silver with merit. I think the reason for that is that this really has a sense of magic to it. I think logically it's probably these critters are sitting on some sort of film of water, but throwing that aside, it's kind of like something out of Neverending Story or something, like this ladybird that's trying to jump onto this moth as it swoops down from the heavens, and it's some kind of magic moth, so it's covered in all the condensation and things. And then you've got all these kind of critters floating around. In terms of an in-camera capture, the actual depth of field is very good and in exactly the right place for this photograph. This is the kind of image where if you could enter it as a completed image, you might have used some stacking techniques, but for the purpose of this category, the sharpness is spot on. There's perfect detail through the ladybird into the face of that moth or butterfly creature. And yeah, I just think it's probably worthy of the extra point to go up into the next range.
Thanks, Matt. Michelle, can we hear from you, please?
I scored this 81, and quite, I am definitely listening to you, Matt. It is, when you think about it being caught straight in camera. They've done extremely well, and I will be coming up. It's those things that when you can finish an image that are distracting, which obviously you can't finish an image in this particular category. I really do enjoy the ladybug, and the story you brought to it, Matt, kind of lifted it up a little bit for me too.
Thanks, Michelle. Johan.
I gave it an 85, and I'm very happy for it to get a merit in the silver category. Everything that everybody else has said, but if you take it to the other level and go, and what about the graphic nature of it? The spots on the ladybird, the spots on the butterfly moth. It's just a wonderful combination, composed very, very well. It looks like the ladybird is just hanging on by the barest of antennae threads. It's masterful, and the tonality is alluring. And the detritus just gives it a sense of reality, particularly that really small critter over the right-hand side. So I really like it. I've given it an 85, and Matt, I think I'm going to come up a little bit higher.
Thanks, Johan. Back to you, Matt.
Sorry, I'll just ask if Rachel wanted to talk first because she had a hand up for a while.
Did she? Sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, I scored at 84. Very happy to come up into the excellence range. I just wanted to chuck in a random. I know that that Matt's description is probably much more accurate, but this just reminded me of the Titanic scene where Jack's not quite on the door and he's got his hand out. He's the ladybird, and yeah, so I was just going to chuck that one in as a bit of a narrative, but I thought that was quite good.
Back to you, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think I've been given anything that I need to address. So I'll just say in camera, one capture, unedited. It's very exceptional.
Thank you. Judges, can you please rescore? Wonderful job. We have a silver with merit at 87. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Craig, do you want to comment on this one?
Yeah, I can do. I really enjoy the lighting in this. I think you've done a lovely job of that, and to get that kind of tonality and contrast in camera is lovely. I think there are a few things to consider to take this higher, especially when we're in a category where we can edit, where we could perhaps have posed the model a little bit more flatteringly so that there's not skin creases and things in unflattering places. And also, perhaps if you're shooting this kind of fashion image, thinking about styling, it would be maybe nice to see that her nails were done as well as her face and that kind of thing. So a couple of little things to improve, perhaps.
Thanks, Craig. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 83. Okay, we've got a challenge from Rachel.
Yeah, I scored this one 87. I think for an in-camera capture, long exposure, that it's been incredibly well handled. So much white in that image, and yet it's not blown out. It's not distracting. It's actually adding really beautifully to that ethereal, peaceful sense of the image itself. And I just thought for that level of control, it was worth the additional merit.
Thanks, Rachel. Johan, can we hear from you, please?
I have a dyslexic 87, so I gave it a 78. Can I just ask one question? Is cropping allowed in this category?
No.
No. Okay, cool. All right. Well, there goes that point. Because I felt that it really wanted to be a panoramic image. Because I felt that there's way too much white down below, and I almost felt the left-hand side was redundant. And if you could get rid of the larger rocks, it wouldn't pull you over to that side. And then I wanted the tree to be super sharp and strong, but I felt that it was just hazy, and also the rocks around it were a bit more hazy than I wanted them to be. This image would work so well with a contrast between the softness of the white and the harshness of the rocks and what's happened to the tree. If the image had been cropped to the left, so those rocks on the left-hand side have been taken out, and keeping it so just a tighter shot, then you get a stronger sense of power. And yeah, I just feel it's an opportunity missed. So I gave it a 78, but I'm absolutely going to listen to what everybody says.
Thank you. Matt, could we hear from you, please?
Yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, I had the benefit of living down the road from this tree, so I know it pretty well. But from a fortunate perspective, I haven't seen it photographed in this way, regardless of how popular it is. So that is, there is definitely a uniqueness about how this has been approached. I don't know if they were managed to photograph it during sea fog or something like that to be able to get this feel. I think to address the contrast, I don't think you could get this kind of whiteness on both sky and in the water channel there without getting that really diffused light throughout the scene. So contrast is something that they might look at for the very finished piece, but I don't think it would actually be possible to get that kind of contrast in camera while also getting this kind of light at the same time. I would also say that this photographer probably has the cleanest sensor I've ever seen. There should be 1,000,001 dust spots in this scene, and I can't spot a single one, and I wouldn't blame them if they were there. But yeah, that's pretty exceptional as well. And I quite like having the rocks on the left there. I think it kind of actually makes it a calmer image where you just find the tree within the landscape rather than the tree being very powerful and demanding your attention. I like that you can kind of meander through it a little bit more, and I think that suits the way that it's been approached. So I was on 84 and I'll come up.
Thanks, Matt. Craig's got his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add, I agree, Matt. I think that other rock helps to balance the image. I scored this 85, and I'm happy to come up and give it a few extra points as well. I love the serenity in this. I think that it has quite a melancholic feeling, and that's why I initially scored it in that merit range as well. So yeah, I really enjoy this.
Thanks, Craig. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, everyone. I think that Craig and Matt really sort of brought that home for me, and there's not much else to add. I think with regards to the cropping, this particular crop is about the scene and the emotion rather than just making it about the tree as a subject. And so for me, that works really well. So yeah, if everyone can join me up in the Silver with Merit, that would be lovely.
Thank you. Can we have the judges rescore, please? And we have a silver with merit at 86. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations. Can we have a comment, please, from one of the judges? Matt.
Sure. I think this image has quite an allure to it. The texturing is beautiful, what they've been able to achieve in camera with the feel, and it's just really quite impressive. I'm not sure exactly how they've done it, which is always a bonus in this kind of category. I think in terms of improving it, it might be taking these similar techniques, but to a time of day where you're not going to get such a harsh light on the left-hand side, because that really draws you up into the top left corner. But in terms of the actual technique at the time, it's really good.
Thank you. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 81. Congratulations to the photographer. Johan, do you want to comment on this one?
There's a wonderful diagonal running through this image. I quite like that there's such a darkness that you have to look intensely to work out what's happening. And then once you do, you're rewarded with a beautiful splash of flame color at the top of the image. And then as you drift around the image, you see the observers down the bottom. Enough of them so that you see them, but not so much of them so that they pull you away from the strong dynamic. You do get a powerful sense of strength out of this image. The wonderful coincidence in the orange of the balloon and the orange of the people holding it down is another bonus to the image. To improve it, maybe if there had been a little bit, if the image had been slightly brighter, so you just see a bit more of the tension in the faces of the people controlling the balloon. But yeah, it was quite a striking image.
Thanks, Johan. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 82. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have a comment from one of the judges? Craig, do you want to comment on this one?
Yeah, sure. I think this has been done very nicely. It has a lovely feel and mood about it. I think it's hard to think how you could have done this better in this category. However, if you're going to edit this fully, then I would perhaps address the sharp green leaves at the bottom right there and that kind of green haze at the bottom there too, as that just pulls my eye down a little bit.
Thanks, Craig. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 84, which is a silver, and Johan is gunning for gold with excellence on this one. So, Johan, go for
Right.
it.
Not only did I give this a gold, I gave it a gold with merit. There's a guy called Stefan Sagmeister, and he has a book that's well worth a look, and it's called Major Look. And what we have here is, well, we know what it is originally, but what we've got, we've been presented with a graphite pencil drawing of a mountainous range with a wonderful fuzzy atmospheric background. What a clever render of what it actually is. And what a clever interpretation of something. I think kudos to the photographer for presenting this to us and seeing it and making us change our perspective on what we're actually looking at. The tonality is wonderful. It's so almost monochromatic. The power of it with the piercing peaks is just stunning. I was trying to find fault with it, and I really couldn't, but I am going to listen to what you guys say, but I'm pretty strong that it's got to be up there in the gold somewhere. They even colored it the right color.
Thanks, Johan. Rachel, can I hear from you, please? I'm going to hit all of you guys in this one.
Excellent. I gave this 78, so I am pretty far away from you. I'm not too sure what your score was, Johan. You said
96.
96. So I can completely get where you're coming from with regards to the graphic pencil drawing nature of it and the mountainscape and stuff. I see that too. But for me, that's not a unique presentation. I have seen images presented in that way before with similar subject matter, and there's a large expanse of highlight in the right of the image, which seems to be blown out to me. So I'm struggling with that. I can come up from where I am, but I'm not too sure exactly how high I'm willing to take it. Probably not into gold at the moment, but I'm listening.
Thanks, Rachel. Craig, can we hear from you?
Yeah, I am also at 78. I guess for the reasons that Rachel mentioned, I'm not overly concerned that there are blown out areas. I don't think they are personally, but I do find that expanse maybe not needed. I think that central peak represented would have been enough, and perhaps if the photographer had tilted the camera and shot this as a portrait orientation, that might have been more successful. I kind of find that whole kind of top right area more distracting than the bright area. Actually, I find that there's like those lines, and it seems like motion blur, though I'm not entirely sure that that's what it is, but I find that top right distracting. So I'm definitely listening. I'm prepared to move my score. I don't know how far up I can come with it yet, though.
Thanks, Craig. Michelle, can we hear from you?
I scored at 83 in the silver range, just because I keep turning my head left. And I was like, oh yeah, there's a beach. But listening to what you were saying, Johan, I do see the mountains and how they've made us look at it in that way. I find it really interesting. I don't like that bright patch, but I do like how it is a mountain. I will come up. I'm not sure I can come right up to gold, but I am listening.
Thanks, Michelle. Matt.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in between all of the perspectives here. I would say that on the right, yes, it is brighter. Yes, it does draw the eye a little bit more. But I do think that it has been held in terms of its highlights, which is pretty impressive for what this image originally is, in terms of sunlight being reflected on water and so on. I think when I first saw it, I saw it as, okay, we've got another aerial landscape, which was kind of a fun reveal to find that it actually wasn't some sort of salt plain or something like that, but that it can be interpreted in that way or abstracted in that way is pretty impressive. I was even looking at the little lines going to the larger peak on the left and thinking, are they animal tracks? And then I realized it was water and went, oh, okay, you got me. So that was pretty impressive. I'm thinking I'm willing to come up.
Thanks, Matt. Johan, back to you.
Excellent. So my interpretation is that it's a graphic drawing that's incomplete. You've got some outlines of things that are coming on the left-hand side of the image. The central largest peak is the key character in this image, and the other elements are part of the support and add to the interpretation of it as a graphic of mountains. The haziness of the background could be seen as disturbing, like the haziness between the light and the dark. That fuzziness might be interpreted as a very poor photographic Photoshop render of something. But this was real, this was captured and seen. And I want to give kudos to the photographer for presenting it to us this way. I know somebody talked about wanting to rotate it so that it was portrait, but then you're going back to the original source material and trying to see it as it was. And what the photographer has done and has said to us, the photographer said to us, presenting it this way, is this is what I see. This is my imagination. Imagine with me. So I feel if you try and reference the source, you end up losing the magic of what you're actually looking at. And so I'd like you to disregard what you know it to be and just feel it for this wonderful, grand, sharp peak, and reward it for being presented with that. It is an abstraction, and the photographer has made us look. So I gave it a 96. See what you can do.
Thanks, Johan. Can we have the judges rescore, please? Thank you. We have a silver with merit at 88. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Does someone want to provide a comment for the entrant?
Congratulations on your silver award. I really like and enjoyed your image. Being that this is impure, you've done a really, really good job, and it's something, if you edit it a little bit more, I think you could take it so much further. But congratulations and well done. It's a really nice image.
Thanks, Michelle. Can we have the next image, please? Thanks, judges. We have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Congratulations to the photographer. Matt, do you want to comment on this one?
Yeah, I think as a still life that's probably been shot in studio, the craft of it is being treated exceptionally. Beautiful lighting, really interesting selection of found objects, and they do have a feel that draws them together, but I'm unable to unlock the narrative to it or why these specific objects have been grouped together. There may be a reason, but unfortunately I can't get it just from this image.
Thanks, Matt. And that concludes the top 10 judging of the pure category. Congratulations to all our finalists, and well done to those who entered. And a massive thank you to our panel.